Welcome into the Nashville Game Changers podcast. I'm your host, Jill Jelnick. And in case you missed the memo, Vanderbilt University is adding a brand new sport this year, the 17th sport, women's volleyball. It's actually returning from when the university previously had it long time ago, over 40 years ago. And now it's coming back to Nashville. Our guest this week, really excited, the new head coach of Vanderbilt women's volleyball, Coach Anders Nelson. Coach, thanks so much for joining us on the podcast.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. And any chance I get to talk about the program that we're building is a great day for me. So thanks for having me.
Well, and I know your days, especially leading up to your first season this fall, they got to be jam-packed. So I appreciate you taking the time from building this program to come sit and talk with us.
Absolutely. No, absolutely. It is getting busier by the day, but that's what we signed up for. And that also means it's getting more exciting by the day too. So we're just in a really cool period right now.
Has it hit you yet that everything you've been working for the last, 2 years? Because they hired you December of 2021? 22.
Yeah.
So the last 2 years has led up to this fall. Has that sunk in?
I think it has now. Now that we've actually competed in some exhibitions and we have almost our full team here now for this summer, I think it has. And already I'm slipping right back into the routines. You know, I was in as an assistant at Kentucky and going through the grind of a normal season. But you do have to pinch yourself when you're in a role like this and when you're in a situation like this. And I think our athletes feel the exact same way. Like, who gets to do what we're doing right now? So that part's really special. And in a way, I don't want it to end. It's so fun. The anticipation is so fun. And just building a base around us has been a really, really enjoyable experience for me.
You mentioned your time with Kentucky. Spent the last 11 years with Wildcats before you took the Vanderbilt job, first as an assistant coach and then associate head coach. And in that time, not only did you have you guys made the NCAA tournament every year.
Yep.
On top of that, you won the 2021 national championship.
Yeah.
So you know a thing or two when it comes to winning in NCAA volleyball. How much did that previous experience at Kentucky prepare you for this role as the head coach?
11 years is a long time at one stop in college coaching. So I think right there, it tells you that I knew I was being prepared for what was next while I was there. And my mentor and the head coach there, Craig Skinner, is still one of my closest friends and somebody that I knew I was learning from just by being around him. So it's a ton. And I think the other side of it is it's given me a ton of confidence. And for me to feel like I can take something on as big as this and as crazy as this, I'd be lying if I said I didn't reflect on my time at Kentucky and remind myself that you won a lot. You know what winners look like. You know what a winning program looks like. And of course that helps. And it helps me also sell the vision to our future athletes of, hey, I know what it looks like. I know what it takes to be successful at this level. And it has helped us attract some serious talent.
The first SEC school to win a national championship was that Kentucky team.
Yeah.
So you also know what it takes to compete in this conference.
For sure. And be first. We were the first SEC team to ever win a national championship. And that seems crazy, but volleyball is just becoming a really big deal in the SEC. And I think this fall, I think the SEC might be the best conference in the entire country. Wow. And back then people weren't saying that. So it is cool to be a part of that. And I've only coached in the SEC since I've been a collegiate coach. Yeah. So I'm an SEC guy now. And for us to be the best, Vanderbilt has to be a successful program. And I've said that before, but that is a small piece of motivation for us to be great here as well.
It's so funny when we sit down and talk to coaches, new coaches, right? Where did they come from? Okay, what program they're inheriting or what was their record, the team, who's coming over with this new coach. You are building everything from scratch. Walk us through kind of the timeline of the last 2 years. How do you even begin to build a new program?
I remember when I first started and when we had our first interview, I think you might have asked me what my biggest challenge was, and it was prioritizing. Like, how do I know what's important to do today when we don't start playing for years? So I think the first thing I did was surround myself with people that understood what we were doing, had a real passion for building a program from scratch. And I got to spend a lot more time on assembling a staff than you normally do because we weren't pressed to go compete or go to the gym and train our team because we didn't have any athletes back then. So surrounding myself with people that understood this and that had the same passion for, leaving a legacy. And we say that a lot, like, what do you want to be said about you when you leave this place? And because it's starting from scratch, it's a unique legacy that you get to leave. But our staff, bought into that. And it's just been kind of reflecting on, there was 3 major things that I believe are my goals. And one of them are what I have to do to be successful. And one of them is win. And that's just part of it. You got to win. And that at that point, involved creating a fan base and getting people around us to support us. And then it also involved recruiting some of the best athletes we could find. Another thing that I believe is one of my biggest goals is to develop young women and get them ready for what's next. And I took this job at Vanderbilt because I wanted to be around high achievers. And I wanted to be around people that knew they could be great at a lot of different things. And we've definitely gotten that. And so I spent a lot of time figuring out, how am I going to push these athletes off the court? What am I going to, do for them off the court or in their academic field or in the career fields? Like, what am I going to do in those spaces to prepare them? And then the third one is just developing our staff. So it's like, really, I try to come back to those three things. And if I'm excellent at those three things, I believe that we're going to be just fine. So when you're prioritizing, you kind of got to go back to like, what are my big rocks? What am I really here for? What is really important? But yeah, it's been, like I said, the professional, dream. I mean, who gets to do this? My fingerprints aren't absolutely everything that is our program. And one of the coolest parts with assembling the roster was a lot of coaches come in and they got to replace people, or they want to get people that are theirs and that fit their culture. We got to build it all. So we got to build everything from who we wanted as an athlete to who we wanted as a person. And that's a really rewarding feeling when things go well. And there's also a lot of ownership behind it. So yeah, it's just, I can't say enough what a dream it's been to just be able to build a program from scratch. And I wish my coworkers got to have, a luxury and an experience like this, but they won't. And that's kind of what makes it so special.
Your energy, your passion is so contagious.
Yeah.
I'm just like, okay,
Yeah,
I'm ready to go. Let's go practice.
Yeah, let's go dig some balls,
Let's
right?
go dig
Yeah.
some balls.
Yeah.
Let's do it. I imagine hearing you talk about, be the first here starting this, that was probably part of your recruiting pitch.
Absolutely. Yeah.
How much did that come into play?
Again, I got to spend some time dreaming with this job and like dreaming of what do I want to sell? And we got to sell a dream. I mean, that's really all we've been able to sell. And I think a good story is our very first recruiting visit, we had 0 volleyballs. So we went to go do a photo shoot and we didn't own a volleyball. Like Vanderbilt did not own one volleyball.
No volleyballs.
Not a single volleyball.
Okay.
So and we didn't realize that until, of course, we got to this point. So there's stories like that. It's like, what were we doing? How did we do this? But yeah, I'm always been passionate. Some people say it teeters on annoying, but I've always been passionate. And that's how we've sold this thing, is just by being super passionate and selling a dream. And thankfully we have such great support from above. And I get to work for Candace Story-Lee, who is the greatest athletic director in the country. And I'll even go further to say she's one of the best leaders in the country. And for me to get to work with her and feel like she's got my back through all of this, like what a comforting feeling. And also it becomes a lot easier to, tell a recruit who's sitting in a chair and is scared about their next step, like you're going to be fine here. Mm-hmm. And you're going to be taken care of here and you're going to be supported here. And Candace has met with every single recruit that's walked through our doors. And that's not normal for athletic directors, but that's what she has done and committed to show that we will be successful and we can be successful.
Oh, and I have no doubt she's going to have a ton of people in those seats for your first volleyball game. But first home game, yes. August 22nd, right?
Home game is 29th. Yep.
29th, first game on the road, 23rd.
Correct.
So that will be here before you know it. Tickets also.
Yes.
Season tickets.
Season tickets are on sale. They've been on sale for about a month and our numbers are crazy good. Yes, we've set some objectives and we're going to pass them, which is great. And that just shows me that this city is so ready for, volleyball. And we're going to bring teams, because we're in the SEC, like Texas and Florida and Kentucky, and these teams that have won national championships into Memorial to play us. And I think we're seeing how excited people are for that. If you don't understand the number of prep volleyball players there are in this area, Williamson County alone, it is crazy how fast this sport's growing. It's the number 1 participated sport in Tennessee for high school girls. It is in the country now, besides track and field, which obviously is more of an individual sport. So it's growing like crazy, and our fan base that we're building already is only reflecting that. But I will say the good seats are going quickly. So if you want to get tickets and you want to get season tickets, we got a really good slate of matches. It includes 10 matches throughout that season ticket package. And I think there's something to be said for being, the first group to be there and to be a season ticket holder from the very beginning. I think those who have chosen to buy are going to be really proud of that decision in 5 to 10 years when they're still buying them.
Oh yeah, no doubt. You're listening to the Nashville Game Changers podcast with Vanderbilt head women's volleyball coach Anders Nelson. Stay with us. We'll be right back after this. You alluded to how the sport, volleyball, is so popular women's sport across the country, but really here in Tennessee. And I was kind of surprised to hear that it was you said the most popular high school sport in the state of Tennessee when it comes to girls. Girls sports.
And like, the Pat Summitt effect. Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Everyone's shocked by that because it's Pat Summitt.
Yeah.
It's
Pat Summitt.
Tennessee basketball state. But yeah, they've passed basketball, which is crazy. And the people who are in it, like they know. I mean, they go to these club tournaments where there's just hundreds and hundreds of courts and thousands of people. But yeah, it's a really entertaining sport. And we've noticed a lot of top athletes are choosing it. And I'll be honest, the reasons they usually give us is there's less running and there's no physical contact. And I laugh, but at the same time, I get it. Like, I get it. Those are two things that, some athletes are looking for. But it also allows them to be super athletic and showcase that athleticism. And just to give you a glimpse, like we have athletes on our team, I think we have 4 or 5 touching above 10.6. So when they go approach, they can touch 6 inches or above a basketball rim. And volleyball, they get to do that over and over and over again. So you get to sit like courtside. You start to see like, these women can almost jump over me. Like, it's crazy how athletic they are, and our sport lets them be athletic. No one's holding them down or, pushing them out of the way. And it's a sport where once you watch it, you get hooked. So again, I'm like very confident that we are going to have a ton of renewals in our season ticket holders next year because the product is just that good and the numbers are showing it.
So fun to watch.
Yes.
And like the athleticism, right? You mentioned how tall some of the girls are. And then when they're approaching the net, right, they're jumping higher than a basketball hoop.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Touching higher than a basketball hoop. I mean, we have many girls on our team that can, if they could palm, they'd be dunking basketballs left and right. But yeah, and it's not just the tall ones. I mean, we got girls who are 5'10" that are touching 10'4", 10'5", things like that. So I just can't wait for people to see that and just see the athleticism that these girls display. And like I said, then you get to do it at a place like Vanderbilt where you also figure out they're majoring in engineering or political science and have 3 9s. And yeah, that's the stuff that just gets me super fired up to be here and to get to be around these young women.
You and your team took a really cool trip this last spring to Japan.
Yep.
How did that happen? And just how remarkable was that experience?
Yeah, I got to tip my hat to the Vanderbilt administration. They are the ones who gave me the idea. And during the interview process, they said, what do you think about doing a foreign trip, right before you guys start, so you get that, extra time to train your team, extra time to be together. I think the best way I can explain how beneficial it was for us from a culture standpoint is that our team had spent one night together before this trip, in terms of like going on the road, staying in a hotel, really doing the road trip experience. And then all of a sudden we do, 10 in a row. So there's a part of me that's like, wait, are we going to kill each other in Japan here? But no, we didn't. We made it. And it was great. And the takeaways are crazy, but it was such a good opportunity for us. Like I said, the whole team got to be there. So we had all 17 of us that'll be with us this fall. We're there. The bonding experiences were second to none. But also, I could talk about it forever, but Japan's a place where you get that culture shock.
Yeah.
But it's kind of easy. Like everyone's super nice. It's super safe. It's clean. The food is really good. There's English everywhere, written and spoken. So it's a kind of an easy culture shock. And then the volleyball was really good. So we got to play 4 matches and we were losers more than we were winners. And they are not touching 10-6. Like those athletes are small, but they are so fast and so disciplined and so quick. And it was really cool to just play against a different style of volleyball. So I've told the team this, but I can't think of a way it could have gone better. I don't know how we would have topped that experience. And yeah, for any listener who's been to Japan, holy cow, you get it. And if you haven't, and you've been told this, that you should go, move it up the list. I'm serious. Move it up the list. Like, it's such a cool experience.
How was the food? I'm such
so
a foodie.
Good. So good. But like,
of course.
the sushi's going to be good. The ramen's going to be good. Like, that stuff was amazing. But I had the best steak I've ever had. I had the best fried chicken I've ever had. So they're kind of known for taking what we do and making it better. And I'm not trying to put any shade on fried chicken. I know I'm in the land of Nashville hot chicken. But it's so good.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Maybe some local chefs or cooks over here will listen to this podcast and be like, okay, I need to bring Coach Nelson my fried chicken and then have him compare it.
Oh, if you love a place like Kisser, I feel like I've been to Kisser in East Nashville, and that place has amazing food. And like, that's the closest I can give you of just, it's so elevated.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
I bet it was really good to finally play against somebody else. Yes. Talk a little bit about that and just how crucial those reps are.
Yeah.
And I bet by now your players are just itching to play someone else.
Yes, no, for sure. And that was, I'll go back to March when we got to play some spring exhibitions, and we played Tennessee at Brentwood High School. And like anyone who's from Tennessee already gets how cool this is already, that we brought in 2 SEC programs into a local high school. Shout out to Brentwood High School staff. They were absolutely incredible in hosting that but not a huge gym. It was full. First of all, there's people lined up to get in like 2 hours before the doors opened. It was full. They had to turn people away because we reached max capacity. But then the environment within the gym was just so cool. And it's a moment that I'll never forget in terms of just like, we're here, we're playing matches. We've talked about this moment for so long. And it was just an exhibition, and we played them really tight and had a really good match. And I think 4 of the sets were deuce points, so they were really close. And I think that got people really excited as well. And it did give our team some confidence too. Like, we've been grinding, but what we're doing is working. And what we're doing is going to work against, some of the best teams, which Tennessee is included. So, if we're feeling that way about a spring exhibition, like, how are we going to feel this fall? I can't wait. And it is, there's something real healthy about having a common enemy. And that's what playing somebody else does. You can turn some of your internal struggles on somebody else. And that's exactly what we did. So,
yes,
it was good.
Yeah. When you do hit your first week of the season, I imagine a lot of, fun emotions, butterflies. As a head coach and your first time with this team, how do you balance the emotions of that, right? While also, trying to win games.
Yeah, that's such a well-timed question. This is exactly what I'm thinking about right now. I'm already starting to think about, that first pre-match locker room speech. And one, the expectations are going to be pretty high on me. Like, of course they are. And I have high expectations for myself too. But what I keep coming back to when I think about this is like, of course we're going to be nervous. Of course we're going to have butterflies. But the fact that they've all chosen to be in the room and chosen to join a program that, again, didn't have volleyballs on their visit for some of them. And they still saw the vision and saw that, like, I just feel like the courage surrounding me in that room is going to be so insane that they're equipped for anything at that point. And I'm going to remind them of that. Like, you guys chose to be here. That was the hard part. Now we get to do the fun part, and it's just compete and enjoy each other. So that's going to kind of be the basis of that, that week of just like understanding that you're equipped for this. You've done the work to be ready for this. Like, we shouldn't be nervous. We shouldn't be nervous for any moment because we've already shown, what we're capable of from a courage standpoint and from a, just crazy decision-making standpoint.
Yeah. If you have any of that in your pre-games, it's going to be great.
Yeah,
that was great. Again, I'm ready to dig some balls. Like, we got this going.
Good.
Tell us a little bit about some of your first recruits.
Yeah, I'm going to start with Haley. She was the first one that committed to us. And she was the one who, came on that visit where we got lost. We got locked out of a dorm. I was literally on the job for like 3 days. I had no idea where I was.
Locked out of a dorm.
We had no idea where we were going.
She's probably like, are you really the head coach of Vanderbilt volleyball?
And then next, it's Haley Mack, whose dad is Chris Mack, who was the head basketball coach at College of Charleston, was at Louisville, was at Xavier, has been to an Elite Eight. I mean, I'm like, of course, this guy actually understands how recruiting is supposed to go. And we are doing the opposite of it right now. But he did pull me aside halfway through the visit and said, like, hey, I know, I don't care. I don't care.
Yeah.
So he made me feel very comfortable right away. Like, that's not why we're here.
Yep.
We knew it wasn't going to be, all ironed out and things like that. But Haley is, I've been around some pretty impressive athletes from a mental standpoint. Haley might be the tops on terms of work ethic. And I've heard this said, the best are tweaked. And she's a little tweaked, man, when it comes to how hard she works, how much she thinks about volleyball, how much video she watches. So in hindsight, just the perfect first recruit. I mean, she set the tone immediately for how this team's going to play. She is a total dog. She is blue collar to the max. Like I said a million times, but Haley and I are going to have a special bond for life. Just knowing, like, she was my first commit. She was the first commit at Vanderbilt. So there's just a lot of cool things I think that Haley and I are going to share for a long time. Another athlete I want to highlight is Jackie Moore, who will be a senior for us this year. So we have a lot of young freshmen, but we also have some experienced transfers. And Jackie turned down some of the best programs in the country. She had offers from top 5 programs in the country. She has a 4.0 at Vanderbilt so far in political science and wants to go to law school. So you can probably tell why she chose us. Yeah,
fitting in very well.
But she was one of the first recruits where I was like, this is who we have to target. She's an elite player. She is, I believe, going to be one of the best middles in the conference this fall for all of the SEC. But she's also, an elite student. And for us to find her and convince her that this was the right stop for her, that was a big moment for me and a big moment for us. And she's just going to be really exciting. And what she can do on the court is really unique. And I'm very, very excited for fans to see her. So those are the two that jump out. And it's cool for Haley. She's young, but she gets a leadership role because so much of our team is young, and she was here first. So, watching that group grow throughout this year, and our motto was water your bamboo, because bamboo, you water it forever and ever and ever. You don't see any results, and then all of a sudden it shoots up and you can't get rid of it, and it grows like crazy. And that's been our whole thing. And I think those two have really bought into that of like, I'm going to put my head down and I'm going to work. And I think they're going to have super successful falls this first season because of it.
You're listening to the Nashville Game Changers podcast with Vanderbilt women's volleyball head coach Anders Nelson. We'll be right back after this. You said water the bamboo. I also know you have another one, shatter the ceiling.
Yeah, shatter your ceiling.
Shatter your ceiling.
Yeah.
Love that one. I'm a sports nerd. I'm a little tweaked too, by the way. I can feel it.
Me too.
Where do these come from? And is there any more that you know are kind of going to be your motto or theme for this team?
There are so many more, but I've been guided by people around me to keep them inside because they're not all winners, of course. But yeah, we have tons of them. Like I've been wanting to say, and my staff gives me crap for this, but I love jump on the bandwagon now.
Bandwagon,
bandwagon, right? That's good,
God,
right?
I love that. Let's get it. Get it on a T-shirt, a little Volkswagen with the V. I'm
exactly,
here. I got you.
So I try. I have a business background. My undergrad majors were in accounting and finance. I got my MBA. When Candace in the interview process told me, like, you need to view yourself as a CEO of a startup, that stuck with me. And I think inadvertently, she didn't know this, I didn't know this at the time, but it opened up this world of creativity for me. Because being a CEO of a startup means you get to try a bunch of crazy stuff. And if it doesn't stick, it doesn't stick. And that's been one of the fun parts. But yeah, I am a quote guy, a motto guy, an alliteration guy. If you give me time, I could think of more. But that's how my brain works.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm definitely wired that way.
Yeah, shatter ceiling.
I love puns. I love all that stuff. But yeah, we're in the midst of a heavy recruiting time right now. And shatter your ceiling, I've said it about 1 million times in the last week, just because it really is what the program is about. And if I judge my happiness based on wins and losses, first of all, I'm not very fun to be around. Second of all, I don't think it's going to make me, be able to coach when I'm, 20, 30 years from now. If I base it off of what our athletes are doing when they leave here, it's a lot more of a consistent, driver for me to find success. So, it really, if I commit to it, it will make my job easier and better as well. So it's a win-win across the board.
So jump on the bandwagon.
Jump on the bandwagon.
Jump on the bandwagon.
Yes.
So excited. We, on the podcast, call it Nashville Game Changers podcast, but we also like to talk about a game-changing moment. You've mentioned a couple big moments throughout the last 2 years. What is maybe one that really stood out to you that maybe re-emphasized or just affirmed, yes, this is where I'm supposed to be?
Yeah. I mean, my mind first goes just to how happy my husband is here, getting to live in Nashville.
Fun city.
As a college sports
welcome
employee,
to Nashville. Yeah.
You don't get to pick where you live. You know what I mean?
No,
you go where
don't.
the job is. So for us to be living in the place we want to live and, me getting to do this job is just like obviously amazing.
Your husband, Mark.
Yes, husband Mark. Yes.
And your dog's name is?
Callie.
Yes.
Good job.
Yes.
Good job. Yeah. Named after John Calipari, actually. So yes, my husband's a UK grad, huge UK basketball fan.
We got to tell John that the next time we get him in here.
I know. And I've actually gotten to meet Dr. Aaron Calipari. So I was like, hey, I don't want to be creepy, but our dog's named after you.
Yeah.
So I still Callie, even though Coach Callie switched jobs. Yeah, we're not changing the dog's name. But yeah, he's super happy here. I'm super happy here in terms of, everyday living. But I think there was a moment that maybe people aren't, going to pinpoint. And I remember it vividly as a staff, but we finished our summer camps last summer. And it was our second year of doing summer camps. And I had a parent come up to me and just tell me that it was the most organized, most intentional, just everything about it they thought was just so well organized and run. And we got really good feedback from the recruiting class of that group too. And I remember texting the staff that night and saying, we just had a huge week for Vanderbilt volleyball. And it maybe doesn't feel like it, but I need you guys to know, like, tides are turning. And that's where you have those moments, and then it turns into selling a ton of season tickets, or it turns into selling out our first match. So I know how important those moments are too. And just we've had a bunch of moments like that where I can tell the brand building is working. And that's been pretty fun.
And just the process, the whole evolution of it. Yes. And now it's almost here.
Yes.
August 23rd,
Man,
almost
here. Had to learn a lot about patience in the last 2 years too. I'm not a patient person, so it's been fun.
Finish line almost there. Before we let you go, we like to finish with, in my opinion, whatever is on your mind, pop culture, sports world, college sports, whatever is on your mind lately, where you feel pretty passionate about, please share.
Okay, I'm going to talk a little bit about Japan because, that was it's obviously fresh on my mind. We got back a couple weeks ago. But everyone, asked me what my biggest takeaway from Japan, and I just say the culture, which is such a cop-out answer. But my point is you feel this you feel this, I don't know, feeling of collaboration at all times. And there's examples of it in any way, but my opinion is that as Americans, we could be a little more consumed with the role we play in the larger scheme of things, which is the American society and is making our country better and things like that, than we do. And I think it felt super far-fetched to me that we could ever live in this world where everyone's pitching in and everyone's, pulling the same rope. And you go to Japan, you feel it everywhere. And some examples, there's 5-year-olds, 4-year-olds, 6-year-olds riding the subway in Tokyo to school by themselves.
Wow.
And that's the safety we're talking about. And somebody will step in and help if there's something wrong. Like that's just how the culture works. So it's like, man, if we could adopt that a little more of a mindset. So I'm trying to keep that mindset as I, return and stay here. And road rage is a good time when I think about it. Like, hey, we're all in this together.
Especially on I-65, yes, the highways around here.
When I want to scream at somebody, I'm like, we're all in this together. We're all in this together.
Yes.
But yeah, my opinion is that Americans, we could be a little more conscious of our role in the greater scheme of society. And I think it would make it all a better place for all of us.
Team players.
Yes.
Right?
Exactly.
Let's collaborate more. Let's work together. That isn't surprising coming from a head coach or a sports person, right? Yeah. Former athlete as well. I think we could all use a little bit more of that. And that's why I'll switch into my opinion real quick. I think youth sports, whatever sport it is, and even cheerleading or dancing, like ballet, being a part of a group, working towards the same goal, going through adversity with others, learning to be selfless, learning to lose. I had a really hard time figuring that one out.
Committing to something, not quitting.
Committing, yes. Going through, and dedication. The list goes on. And I just, it's not a secret why I gravitate towards other former athletes or why team settings, right? Team environments.
Yeah.
I think those lessons we learn at such a young age, they're so important as we get older, and they still are.
Yeah, especially for women too. I mean, it's like some crazy statistic, and Candace says it a lot, of women in C-suites. It's like 90% of them identify as being former athletes. So like athletes give females especially confidence to go do what they want to do, and all of the other things you talked about. But yeah, that's where it's easy to remember, even my role in the grand scheme of things. It's not, of course, winning's important, but it's about creating, women that can go contribute to society when they leave here. And
women that can go shatter ceilings.
Shatter their ceilings.
Shatter
well done. Well done.
I got you.
You do got it.
Coach, this has been so much fun. I'm ready to go play. I'll be a bench warmer for I can't wait to cover your guys' first season, inaugural season, cheer you guys on. I also can't wait to be a fan and just go for fun. And we'll make sure that you guys get all the love in the world coming this fall. Be sure to check out tickets on sale now.
Yes.
And then again, August 23rd, first game, August 29th, first home game.
Yes.
Got to be Memorial Gym's going to have that Memorial magic.
Yes. And I'll throw in one more thing. August 31st, Broadway Block Party.
Thank
the
you.
Nashville Sports Council is putting on a tournament. That's one of the first of its kind for volleyball.
Yeah.
So we're really excited about that. It worked out to be a Big Ten SEC challenge. So not only are we playing Illinois that day, which is going to be a great match, Purdue is playing Tennessee and Kentucky, Nebraska, which I think both of those teams will be ranked top 5 to start the season. So if you are a volleyball fan and you are in the area, you're going to want to be in Nashville, in Broadway, or on Broadway, in Bridgestone, on the Sunday
Arena
before Labor Day. So,
all 3 of those games are on the same day.
Same day.
You
one
buy
ticket gets you all 3.
One ticket, you get incredible volleyball experience. That's going to be fun. I'll be there for sure.
Perfect.
Coach, thank you.
Thank you.
And best of luck this season.
Yeah, whenever you want me. I love talking, so I'm happy to come back.
I'm already jumping on the Vandy wagon, so we're good. You're listening to the Nashville Game Changers podcast with Jill Jelnick. Be sure to like and subscribe wherever you listen to the podcast.